Hey there, and welcome to the ADK Rock and Metal channel. I'm Dave Does, one of your hosts, and today we're going to be doing more bands that deserve your love, or do they? And today we're going to pick up a very kind of, I guess it's a band that, as you've seen in the title, they can really split opinions. This is a band that was really very popular with the female audience in the 80s. This was a band called Poison. They were a glam rock band from back in the day. They wore more makeup than the women in the audience did in most cases, but they were big feathered hair and lots of makeup, and I mean, it appealed. It was the rocker audience, but it appealed more for the ladies than it did the guys. So they had more women at their concerts than the men, and I guess that's what they wanted. But it meant that they were never really taken very seriously as musicians, and that's a shame because there are some great songs by this band. Today we're going to check out the song called Something to Believe In, which is a great track. It came off their second album, Flesh and Blood. Third album, Flesh and Blood, came out in, 1990. It is a big ballad, and this was a big thing from the 80s and 90s bands where they would put ballads on their albums. I think it's important that we understand where this from. So you've got to remember, this is like a year before the Black Album. I mean, we've had some big bands releasing lots of great albums from before this. Now, I'm just going to say, it says it's the third album. I don't remember what was the third. Remember Look What the Cat Dragged In. I remember that 1986. Now that was very much the kind of kicking things off of the Lipstick and if you look at Lipstick, Big, Hairspray, and if you look at the songs on the album, I've listened to them again recently. It's all kind of following in the Kiss format of Sex Cells kind of format. So Look What the Cat Dragged In and I Want Action and stuff like that. So it's sleaze rock at best, and of course you've got to remember, like, sort of round not long after this, you'd have had Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction coming out, and that went in a very different direction. This kind of really, took it on the edge. Now, open up and say, it came out in 1988. I have no remembrance of that at all. I don't remember that song or that particular album. I don't know what the album songs were on there. Okay, so what we got here? Oh, Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Do you know what? So I've only ever heard this through the. I have heard the song, but I never realised it was off of. I didn't realise it was off that album. Your Mama Don't Dance, Fallen Angel. Okay, enough. So in my head, I thought these were off of the earlier album. I actually thought Flesh and Blood was the second album, because I think I got into Poison, or I listened to Poison further down the line when they had some of the I actually think I got into them on Native Tongue, which is a very different album, with Richie Kotzen coming in on guitar to replace CC DeVille. But let's talk about this song, Something to Believe In. So it came off the Flesh and Blood album, which also included songs from their greatest hits songs. Have a look what we got here. Ride the Wind, Life Goes On, Unskinny Bop would have probably been the big one, and maybe Flesh and Blood, Sacrifice. But yeah, good overall album. And it was a bit of a marked change. It was saw them going a little bit more introspective, maybe. And this song was obviously a big part of that. So let's go check it out. I'm going to play it all the way through, and then we'll kind of talk about it a bit more at the end. But this is Something to Believe In.
Well, I see him on the TV preaching about the promised lands. He tells me believe in Jesus steals the money from my hands. Some say he was a good man. Lord, I think he sinned. 22 years of mental tears, cries of suicidal Vietnam vet. He fought a losing war on a foreign shore to find his country and to want him back. The bullets took his best friends in Saigon. Our Lord has took his wife, his kids, no regrets. Anytime I don't remember, in a war he can't forget. forget. He cried, forgive me for what I'd done there, 'cause I never meant the things I did. And give me something to believe in, that there's a Lord above. And give me something to believe in, oh Lord, arise. My best friend died a lonely man in some Palm Springs, a hotel room. I got the call last Christmas Eve and they told me the news. I tried all night not to break down and cry as tears rolled down my face. I felt so cold and empty, like a lost soul out of place. And the mirror on the wall, see my smiling face again. I give me something to believe in. I give me something. There's a Lord above. I give me something to believe in. I give me something. Oh Lord, arise. Sometimes I wish to God I didn't know now, things I didn't know then. Road, you gotta take me home. I drive by the homeless sleeping on a cold dark street, like bodies in an old bone grave. Underneath the broken old neon sign, used to read Jesus says. A mile away live the rich folk, and I see how they're living it up. Oh, while the poor they eat from hell to mouth, rich drinking from the golden cup. And it just makes me wonder why so many lose, so few win. Give me something to believe in. Give me something to believe in. Give me something to believe in. Give me something. There's a Lord above. Give me something to believe in. 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 Yeah, sometimes I wish I didn't know now, things I didn't know then. Yeah. And give me something to believe in, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Something to believe in, and the band, of course, was Poison. Do you know what the biggest shame if for Poison was that they had their earlier albums of Look What the Cat Dragged In and I Want Action, etc., and Unskinny Bop and stuff. Because when you then got to this, so many people wrote the band off as, oh, it's just that glam metal band. And actually, this is such a banger of an emotional track. You can see it in his face. I mean, there's this bit where obviously with Bright Michaels, the vocals get more passionate, but he's actually becoming introspective, and you can see him almost gulping, choking back. Now, whether he did that just for the cameras, I don't know. Maybe he was getting more emotional. Maybe this song meant more to him. I don't really know. I think there was a bit of a background because obviously there's multiple stories. We're talking about the Vietnam vet. We're talking about the friend that was lost, the homeless. So there are multiple things. The preacher taken from the people. So there's all the things that are wrong about the rich and the poor. Um, Okay, so yeah, we go. The song was dedicated to James Chemo Mano, a security guard and best friend of Brett Michaels, who died some time earlier. The lyrics are also focused on televangelism and Vietnam vets. Um, okay. There we go. So yeah, during the filming of the video, unbeknownst to Michaels, the director had inserted footage of James Chemo Mano, which was playing on a screen in front of Brett. So they actually played the footage in front of Brett straight away. I wasn't sure with those if they were just going to use and superimpose it afterwards. This was done to draw out an emotional reaction. It worked so well that Michaels lost his composure and had to leave the set for hours. On the final cut of the video, during the second verse, which can be visible holding back tears as he momentarily stopped singing. Yeah, okay. Well, I picked it up before I didn't know, and you'll have seen that. I would have put. I'm probably going to be putting up in the editing the all the details here because I like to do that. But it is such an emotional song, and it makes sense where they moved into the next album with Native Tongue, with Richie Kozen coming in, and some of the amazing album and songs that were on that next album. Now, it obviously didn't work out for them, but I think it's a really interesting sort of transition to go where they did Native Tongue. I've never actually listened to any of the albums after that. I didn't even know they'd done any other albums on this one. But I mean, when you talk about songs like Stand, which I know Richie Kosen still does himself, he hates the way that Brett Michaels does it, but I think Brett Michaels does a great deal with it. 7 Days Overused, great. Until You Suffer Some Fire and Ice as well. So there are some really good songs, and Richie Kosen brought that soul. But you could see even in this song here on Something to Believe In, there was they're already moving into this more emotional direction. Definitely had moved away from the sleaze rock glam, and they had to do that because it wasn't in vogue anymore. I mean, we're in the 90s, grunge is big, but they suffered from exactly the same problem that Warrant did with Cherry Pie. No one gave Warrant the time of day. Whenever you heard the band Warrant, you thought Cherry Pie. And that was a problem because it wasn't. I mean, it was a great song for its time, but it was cheesy, and people just rip them off. And yet, the first time I then heard Uncle Tom's Cabin, I was like, "That's a great track. Why have I never heard this before? Why?" And then I listened to the rest of the album. I was like, "This is a great album. Why have I not heard this?" And the reason is because of Cherry Pie. I'd never even thought to give them the time of day, and that is exactly the same problem with Poison. If you say to someone, "Why don't you go check out the band Poison?" They're like, "Oh, the Lipstick Band. They don't write anything good. It's all rubbish songs." I Every Rose Has Its Thorn and Something to Believe In are absolutely amazing tracks. And if you listen to the Native Tongue album, absolutely phenomenal album. So I think it's a band that definitely deserves your love, with a touch of salt, or with a pinch of salt, maybe just a smidgen of salt needed there, just to kind of tide it over. But yeah, very cool. Glad to go back to it. And again, it was the first time I've actually properly watched that video without interrupting it or having it on in the background or just watching it because I wanted music. So yeah, I've picked up that emotional bit, which I hadn't really noticed before. So yeah, very, very cool. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in another video sometime very soon. Take care.